Yeah, okay.
Um, what I've put together for you this morning, or this afternoon or this evening, is a karaoke caper in loop. So I'm going to set the scene to start out with. We're in a team meeting. There's lots of us in this team meeting, and a new person has come to the team meeting, and they're introducing themselves. Hey, team, this is me. This is what I'm about. Um, and they disclose to the group that they love a bit of karaoke. And I personally am excited by this because I love a bit of karaoke. And it's definitely been a while since I've been up on stage because I'm one of those weird people who actually likes the karaoke on the stage. Just because, rather than those little boxes where it's just a few people, I'm like, I want to stage it, I want to rock out. And so they're talking about that, and the team's like, yeah, we miss karaoke. Let's do team karaoke. So someone drops into the chat a loop. And I was sitting there going, oh, nice. Someone's using Loop, excited by that. I was like, well, what a cute way to use Loop. And kind of, fast forward a little bit after that meeting, Daryl puts the call out. Does anyone have any cool Loop stories to share? And I was like, oh, I think karaoke's cool, and that's a Loop story. And then that took me on a journey, which was more than I thought it would be. Because, Daryl, if you want to seamlessly go to the next slide, someone dropped a loop into the chat. And so when Daryl put the call out, I wanted to get some screenshots because I didn't take screenshots at the time. I didn't think of it. I just thought it was cool. And Daryl was like, someone do a press. I'm like, well, I need screenshots, right? So I go looking for these screenshots, and if I had like an audio soundtrack, maybe there'd be a little bit of a record scratch when this screen drops in, but it might be too subtle. I don't know. This is actually not a screenshot of the loop that was in that meeting, and I'm going to explain why and some of the things I found when I was looking for this information. So this is not the loop from the meeting, but one of the first things I want to kind of call out is the loop in the meeting was awesome. A few people jumped in, and I've got a screenshot of that a little bit later. But because there was so many of us, very active chat in the meeting, the loop just went away. Kind of like seconds, it was gone from the screen. So only a few people contributed, and that's kind of my first thing about loop. And I've said, Daryl's probably heard me say this before, you can't pin a loop really nicely right now. So even though you've got this cool feature in a meeting, which I absolutely love, there are some little things that are niggly for me in terms of actually keeping it being engaging into its true purpose of taking people out of that chat conversation to focus on something. Well, that's, once it's moved away from the chat, who else is kind of able to be engaged in that unless they scroll and go looking for it? So I started looking for this loop, which obviously I didn't find in the meeting chat. But if we go to the next screenshot, next slide there, Daryl, what I did discover is because I started with search, I was like, well, it's a Teams meeting. I'm going to search for a few keywords and see if I can find the meeting, find the chat, etc. So I typed a few keywords and then landed on, I'm going to type karaoke. I can't bloody find this team meeting. Type in karaoke, and I was like, oh, the loop has actually come up in Team Search. That's actually quite good and quite useful. So I was like, cool. I selected that. That was a pleasant surprise. Selected it, and then on to the next one. I've actually got access to that original loop. Which is cool. So you can see people's song selections. You can see only a few people were in there. Now my recollection is I think there was, maybe 30 people or more, 30 to 40 people in this meeting. It's quite a large team meeting, like a big get together. And I think there were more karaoke fans than that, or at least I want to think so. Um, Important note, my karaoke song is "What's Up for Non-Blondes." I've been known to do it at conferences. So this was cool. I found the loop. What I didn't like about this though is that it's not in dark mode. So I run in dark mode. I run my web view in dark mode, but my loops aren't in dark mode. So just a little note there. I'm going to give that feedback to the team. Say, hey, I like my dark mode. I hate like the big glaring white screen. So I didn't want to stop here. I'm like, I want to find the screenshot in the chat to get the picture for Daryl for the session. So if we go to the next one, I've gone to the team meeting via the calendar and trying to like, where was this team meeting? It was a channel meeting. This is a very important part of the story. So I've gone to our channel and I've gone to the channel meeting and I'm like, the channel meeting. So the chat doesn't exist anymore. It's a conversation. And if you have a keen eye or a large screen, you might notice that this goes for a while. It's like 1,289 replies because it's the conversation from every single meeting since it was set up, I think in sometime in 2021. So I had to scroll through to find the message, to get the screenshot, to show all of you and to show Daryl. And if we go to the next one, Daryl, you'll be maybe as disappointed as me, perhaps not surprised if you've discovered this already, that my gorgeous little loop component is just a link. It's gross. So I was a little bit disappointed by that. The good thing is that I can still select it, but I was like, where's my rich little experience, which I, know because it's a conversation now and not a chat anymore. I miss out on that beautiful little experience. So that's my story. I've kind of summarized my little points there on this final slide for those of you who like some words. If you're coming back to it, what did I discover in this process? I mean, I genuinely think Loop is great for gathering ideas in a meeting, but I think there are some challenges, some adoption challenges right now, because when people discover these little nuances, it makes them less inclined to want to use it. Chat moves super quickly and Loop goes with it. That's just a fact. So we need a way to resolve that issue. And the pinning and tabs, I've tried pinning and I've tried tabs. It's too hard, basically. It's too difficult for anyone other than the intrepid to take advantage of it. Um, Search in Teams is great though, and I haven't said that a lot actually, because search in Teams is sometimes not great, right? But it searches for the loop files, which is excellent. I was really impressed by that. Sad about no dark mode, but I think that'll be resolved eventually. It seems like an obvious one. And that component, like what I think one of the real like big value items of Loop is that visual component. It draws your eye, you can see it live. And the fact that we lose that when a meeting chat is actually a channel meeting, which is actually a conversation because Teams, we don't get that. So hopefully that's something the Teams team are already thinking about and fixing, or the Loop team are fixing with Teams, or whoever needs to fix it is fixing. The end.